Oh, my Lord. So young. So pretty. Oh, what monster could have done this?
Hello, everybody. I'm John.
I'm Justin.
And we're the
Gore
Gore
Goblins.
Goblins.
Yay.
This is our show.
Where we
where
talk
we-
about horror movies.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Let's just,
And I guess we have to say music at this point, considering
yeah.
we boast a lot about music.
Well,
Personal opinions on music.
well,
Let's leave it
you
at
know
that.
what? There's only so much you can say about The Grudge.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
You know, it all...
We had to pad that timing somehow.
Yeah. Anyway, hello. How are you? It's Sunday. I don't know. I'm sleepy. Anyway, we're here to talk about a movie. But before that, I don't know. I guess we'll get all the other stuff out of the way.
All the other stuff.
So, Justin, why don't you tell me what you did I don't know, what you did in the past week, 2 weeks. That's the word.
Existed.
Nice.
Have my unhealthy obsession with World of Warcraft grow.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Because I just have to have a 6th character almost max level.
6?
Yeah.
That's too many, man.
Got Diablo 4 early because I somehow got a 70% discount on the Ultimate Edition.
How?
I don't know. Like, I just went into the Microsoft store because I clicked the trailer for some reason. I was just bored.
Oh, you got it on Xbox, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it showed the regular price, but as I was backing out, as I pressed B, the screen reloaded, and it showed $30, and it said a discount just for you. So it was only for me for some reason. Because
they were like, oh my god, this dude's got 6 characters in World of Warcraft. Just fucking give it to him. Just give it to him for free.
Yeah, but I haven't played much. But let's see how the Necromancer goes.
Necromancer, yeah, you would pick a Necromancer, you fucking dude.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. I don't remember what I picked in the beta. It wasn't a Necromancer though. Get off my phone.
But horror related. If the people saw the post on Facebook yesterday, I saw the Boogeyman, which was not anywhere near as bad as the stupid one that existed in 2005 or something. I don't remember when they made an original one. All I remember is seeing the cover for the movie at Walmart with the hand coming out of the closet. Anyways,
I don't know.
It was good.
Listen, it's not the Bye Bye Man though.
Yeah, it's not the Bye Bye Man. It
Is
definitely
that
isn't.
the name of it? The Bye Bye Man?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Saying it now, it doesn't feel like that's a real thing.
That's Slender Man's retarded cousin.
Like that doesn't feel like a real thing. But like, it doesn't feel like a real name.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm like, who approved that?
All I think of when I think of the Bye Bye Man is the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man.
Yeah.
That's all I think of. It's a stupid meme that came out around the same time. Movie's not good.
It's not.
It's not good. Ralph the Movie Maker's got a good video on it if you want to see how bad it is,
Ralph
I guess.
the Movie Maker.
Yeah, Ralph Seppi. That's his name. He's a little man. But
yeah, that movie it actually surprised me
and you watched it at Alamo Draft House, right?
for the first time ever.
Which one? Yeah, I think there's only one in Houston. That's
What's
the
Katy.
The La Centera, yeah. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's a nice place.
I felt really claustrophobic in there though,
That's just you.
for some reason.
It's probably because of the movie. I don't know. I was there yesterday too, seeing a entirely different movie that is not even close to the same thing as the Boogeyman. But I had a good time. Alamo Draft House is all right. It's pretty fun. I don't know. Sometimes I eat there. Most of the time I don't. It's all right though.
Yeah, if I went again, I'd prefer not to eat.
Did you eat?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you eat during a horror movie?
I was hungry.
What the?
We were out all day long,
Oh my god!
so we just decided to eat there.
You could eat before the whatever. I don't.
Look, and then an experience I had at Katie Mills Mall, my stomach got really
Well,
fucked
that was your
up.
fault for going to Katie Mills. All right,
No.
that was your fault.
Okay, before a little bit about the movie, let me tell you what happened before we went to the theater.
God.
So we were leaving the mall, and there was apparently a hot sauce store in there that I didn't know existed. So we went in there, and you can get samples of literally everything there.
Why would you do this? Why, like, you're not even, like, done, and I'm asking why would you do this? Like, that's not...
That's like asking me why I ordered the hottest wings at Pluckers.
Yeah, but that's different. That's, like, that's on some wings. That's different. But, like, just the sauce itself, why would you do this to yourself?
So I just said, fuck it. And I'm like, I'm going to try a few of these. The first one I tried was like some ghost pepper barbecue sauce, which we ended up buying, which was great.
Yeah.
But then I found the wing sauces. That hurt.
Yeah?
And like I was fine walking back to the car. But as soon as I got in the car, it felt like someone stuck like 4 really hot needles into my stomach and twisted them.
Listen, man, I can't help you with that. That's all you. I don't know.
I had to like recline the seat and put my hands above my head and just like make it please stop.
Well, yeah.
But it calmed down once I got into the movie though.
And then you ate at Alamo Draft House. So the reason I don't always eat there, I have to be like really hungry. The food's not terrible, but like I don't know, man. I go there because they show a bunch of older movies that I could just watch at home, but like it's cool seeing them in a theater. I know I don't know, you see a lot of good stuff there. So, you know, it's a fun place to go to, but it's like out of the way.
Yeah.
For me. It's pretty crazily out of the way.
I mean, the movie ticket price is standard, but food overpriced.
Yeah.
$71.
Did you pay for 2 people?
Well, my girlfriend paid.
So you paid for you and her?
No, she paid. Because she wanted to take me there for the first time.
Oh, so she's been there.
She's
before.
been there, but
okay.
I haven't been.
But she paid for both of y'all's meals is what I'm getting. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of money. What did y'all like just get 2 meals or did y'all get like an appetizer?
She got appetizers. She got 2 margaritas.
Classic.
And then just 2 entrees.
And those margaritas are why it's 71.
It
It would have been like $40 if it hadn't been for those fucking margaritas. That's drinks are always super expensive at these fucking places.
But I liked how they designed the before movie thing, like whatever you would call it.
The hype reel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They designed it to make sense towards the movie.
Yeah, they always
like they
do
were
that.
showing references of Stephen King's other shit, like
That's the
top
coolest
10
thing about
weirdest
that place.
movies he's made. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
I watched because I went to see Evil Dead 2 there, and they showed a bunch of Sam Raimi's old home movies. It's pretty cool, including Attack of the Helping Hand, which was a big influence on the Deadite hand. So you know all that is pretty cool. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
They do that all the time. They'll show like the movie we saw yesterday. They showed a bunch of trailers with actors from the movie, just different trailers that they were in around the same time. It was neat. It's all right. I like Alamo Drafthouse. It's cool. We went to see The Matrix there. That was really fucking neat. We went to see, I don't even remember. I know we saw Mandy there, which was, I think, the first time I went to that one. The old Alamo Drafthouse location was a little bit different, and they were cool, but this new location's pretty nice. It's pretty neat, I would say. It's all right.
Yep.
So
But,
go to Alamo Drafthouse if there's one near you, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But as for the movie itself, that was a good experience. And like I told you yesterday too, that one jump scare that they did that scene so well, you didn't expect it to transition the way it did. Like literally everyone at the same time jumped.
So is it like a jump scare movie?
I mean,
'Cause I don't like those.
it's not solidly a jump scare movie. It kind of once you realize how the monster pops up in the scenes, it kind of gives you the Grudge effect where you have to you start looking for him in every little corner and shit.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And they don't like throw him in your face like constantly. He's just in the shadows and like looks cool. And when you finally get the reveal of what he looks like in the end, there was a really creative way they did him and what he does to like fully drain his victim.
Oh, that's cool.
But I'm not going to spoil that part.
Oh, maybe we'll cover it one day. Probably. We'll probably add it to the list of one-offs, which we're going to start doing again after this episode, by the way.
And all the human drama in the movie, like, it didn't feel like out of place. It actually had a purpose to the movie, and they didn't waste like unnecessary scenes on it either. It all flowed seamlessly. Like, the movie gets going right from the start, and it doesn't stop.
Well, that's good. I'll look into that.
And it also has references to the old Steam game Boogeyman.
What are you talking about?
There was a Steam game that was had mechanics to like akin to Five Nights at Freddy's, but not.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
The little moonlight that was in that game.
Yeah.
And I guess the creature's body design in general is based off of that one.
Well, that's cool. Huh.
Because that's what caught me when I first saw the trailer. I was like, oh, is this a movie referencing that game? But then it said Stephen King short story, and I was like, okay, that's not a bad thing either. So.
I mean, the game was probably based off of that short story.
Probably.
So, you know. But yeah, that's good.
But yeah, go see that movie.
Probably won't, but you know, that's all right. I already had to skip out on a couple of movies that I wanted to see, but that's all right. You know, because we're still here. I went to a concert, not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. And I was supposed to go with a friend, and they canceled on me literally as I was getting to their apartment. So I wasn't upset about it. I still went to the show. I was just like, all right, cool. I'll just go by myself. And then I tried to call Justin over here, and I called some other friends to see if they could make the drive just because I didn't want the tickets to go to waste. But, you know, it's whatever. Ticket went to waste. It happens. They still got the money. It doesn't matter. I'll support the band twice. I don't give a shit. So that was a good show, though. It was Obituary again for the third time. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a pretty fun show. Also got to see Immolation, which was good. I feel like the drummer was having an off night, or it might have been because he was using triggers on the kicks that it didn't sound. It sounded like it kept cutting out, and that's why I don't like triggers. But you know, it was all right outside of that. Their guitar player was doing some fun stuff on stage while he was playing. That was really cool. Also got to see Blood Incantation. Always cool to finally see a band that I've wanted to see forever. And then Ingrown, which is like this hardcore punk band. They were pretty cool too. I kind of wish their set had been longer because they were pretty cool. So yeah, it's a fun show. Go to death metal shows. I don't know, support music. There was one guy at the show that, because I was by myself, so there was one guy at the show who just came up and just started fucking talking to me, and he introduced himself. And he was like asking me about the bands that were playing and if I knew any of them, and I'm like, yeah, I know 3 of them, you know, like I haven't seen 2 of them live, but you know, and then he was like, he had this girl with him that went to the bar to get a drink, and he was just chatting it up with me, and I was thinking to myself like, God, I'm gonna have to fucking just talk to this dude the whole show, aren't I? I'm like, cool, that's what I want to do at a death metal show, is talk to somebody. So then I was like, fuck, all right. I was already resigning myself to this fate. And then his girlfriend or whatever comes back with the drinks, and she's not wearing an armband. So security comes up and asks her, hey, where's your armband? And she's like, oh, it fell off. Which, if you've ever been to a venue, when they give you that armband for drinks, that shit doesn't fall off.
No, it doesn't.
Unless you make it fall off, it doesn't fall off. That's why they make it the way they make it. And then she's like, oh, it fell off. And then the security girl was like, oh, do you have your ID? And she's like, no. And then she's like, all right, well, we have a zero tolerance policy, so I'm going to have to ask both of y'all to leave. We're just going to escort you out. And then they left, and I was like, all right, maybe God's real. And I was like, that's cool. Maybe there is a God, because now I get to enjoy this show. Because that was a rough week. These last couple weeks at work have been really stressful and rough. So I was like, the last thing I wanted to do was have somebody fucking talking to me the whole fucking time that I was trying to enjoy a death metal show. But, it was a good time regardless. It was fun. Then I went home and ate Whataburger, and then I went to bed.
Whataburger.
And then I went to work the next day because that's what I do.
Fuck, I wish I could go to work.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a you problem, buddy.
That sounds like I apply
You know
everywhere.
what else sounds like a you problem? Is Friday the 13th. That didn't make any sense. I just wanted to transition into Friday the 13th. So here we are. Friday the 13th. We're starting this franchise today. We're finally free from the shackles of Kayako and all the fucking baggage that she had with her.
I mean, she's probably creeping around in the corner somewhere.
So now we're finally here at one of the most prolific slasher franchises of all time, Friday the 13th. And today we're talking about the first one, the very first one that came out in 1980. That shit was 43 years ago. That's crazy. I still think of the 80s as 20 years ago because I was a kid when it was 20 years ago, and now it's 40. It's just hurting me a little bit on the inside, I'm going to be honest. But here we are, Friday the 13th. We're out here watching this movie. So
another movie that proves sex kills, and if your name is Annie, you're going to get an undeserved death.
Yeah, it was Annie, wasn't it? It was Annie, wasn't it? Yeah.
She just wanted to cook for the campers. She was so happy.
You know what's funny though is that this movie is unabashedly just Halloween. It's like a weird mix of Halloween and Psycho. But like it still has enough like of its own individuality to be something different. But like Vic Miller and Sean Cunningham both are very open about the fact that they just ripped off a Halloween. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Sean Cunningham saw like the numbers. I don't even think he fucking saw the movie. I think he just saw the numbers that Halloween was doing. And he was like, oh, hey, let's do this. Let's just rip it off, Vic. And then Miller was like, all right. So then he went to go watch it. And then he was like, okay. So then he wrote it. And then Sean Cunningham directed this. And, an icon was born. Not really yet, actually, but like a franchise was born, I should say. And it's weird watching the special features for this because Sean Cunningham's like, I never wanted this to be a fucking like franchise. He's like, I just wanted to make the first one, make my money, and get out. He's like, but it made so much money that New Line was just like, hey, make another one. And then he was like, all right, I guess.
Yes. So
then that's what happened. But yeah, this movie did very well at the box office when it came out. It was a lot of that was due to the controversy because I guess at the time, it's the same thing it always is. You still see it today. Think about the kids, the kids shouldn't be exposed to this, buddy. They're gonna be exposed one way or the other. It's if you're a good parent, you'll expose them to it and then mitigate it.
It's like the pastor's wife on The Simpsons.
All you gotta do.
Won't someone please think of the children?
All you gotta do is just be a good fucking parent. I don't understand. God damn it. Anyway, so, you still see it today. Pearl clutching. It never gets old. You think the 80s are just coming back. Happy Pride Month, by the way. But the 80s are coming back. They're trying to fucking systematically get rid of LGBT people just like in the 80s. It's so cool. It's a retro throwback. And we're talking about an 80s franchise. Oh, it's all coming together, Justin. It's all coming together.
The fates have decided.
Happy Pride Month, by the way. But that's besides the point. So yeah, Friday the 13th came out in 1980, and everybody was clutching their pearls about it. This was around the same time as like, we can't have swear words in music. It's all stupid shit. It's fucking dumb. I don't like it. I've never believed that you should censor art in any way. But there is a difference between I guess. Well, no. Just don't censor art. Just leave it. Leave it be. If it repulses you, that's kind of the point. I don't know. But in this
Then
case,
go
I
watch
don't know.
something else.
I don't know if you can call Friday the 13th art though, because they actively just did it to make money. But
And it shows.
they actively just did it to make money. And by today's standards, this shit's pretty tame.
Very.
It's nothing like you watch Evil Dead 2013 and just how nobody was like upset about the gore in that, and then you go back and watch this and you were like, this is what people were upset about. Like this Kevin Bacon with an obviously fake neck just getting an arrow through his throat. Like this is what they were upset about. Oh my god. And it's funny because like I guess the difference between Halloween and this is that Halloween didn't really show anything, at least that first one. After it's funny how it works out because Halloween ushered in like slashers. Like that's what made them like, because Halloween was a big critical and commercial success. Then Vic Miller and Cunningham were like, hey, let's fucking make this, but let's make it shocking because, that'll get us more press and more money. And then Mustafa Akkad was like, hey, gore is what sells now, so make Halloween 2 gory, John Carpenter. The third, I don't know, he's not a third, but John Carpenter, make another one. And then he wrote it, and we talked about that. So, and that's funny that it all just kind of, that's just the progression of things. But yeah, this movie's not even that gory.
No.
I mean, I guess at the time, I don't know if you've never seen anything like that before, but like, there were foreign films doing worse than this already. So Americans are fucking weird. That's what we get for being a Christian nation, I guess. But American audiences are weird about anything that's quote unquote taboo or whatever. But yeah, this is a good movie. It's fun. I don't know.
It's fun. That's really the only description you need to give of it.
It's not like, I don't know. There's just something about, for me, it's the practicality of the effects, and it's like a magic trick. That's why they call them gags. And Tom Savini did the effects here. The wonderful Tom Savini. Love that man. He is a fantastic effects artist. Yeah, it was even the score is really good. I don't remember the dude's name that did the score, but the score is very good. We're going to bring back the fucking Rotten Tomatoes score, by the way. I forgot to mention that because I know it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun going through these movies and seeing what people had to say about it.
See, Halloween got the great piano theme, and then Friday the 13th got the cha-cha-cha-ha-ha.
Yeah, that was, I don't remember what he actually says, but they pointed that out in the fucking thingamajig. Listen, man, I'm just talking here. Where's the
talking and walking? I'm sitting here squawking.
No, you're not. You're not a bird. Are
Caw.
you? Harry Manfredini. That's who did the fucking thing. That's who did the score, the fantastic score that is in this movie. But yeah, so I guess I'll just go over. We can just go over the plot a little bit. It starts out much like Halloween. You're gonna hear this a lot, much like Halloween, or you might not. I don't know. I might not say it anymore past this, but much like Halloween, you start out with a POV shot of a person just vibing, watching these camp counselors as they're singing some fucking camp song with a bunch of kids, and then they're like. And then like they're like eye fucking each other. You know how it is. So then they decide to leave, and then they transition from eye fucking into real fucking. Eye fucking sounds like
they
an
didn't
iPhone
fully
app.
make it. Yeah, I just love the way he delivered the dialogue. Oh, we weren't doing anything.
And then he got fucking stabbed. But eye fucking sounds like an iPhone app. I wonder. Maybe that was, I don't know.
You just developed the next porn app.
No, it's just the Grindr already exists. We don't need another one. Believe me, we don't need another one. Yeah, he gets stabbed, and then the POV person walks up to this woman, and then she screams, and then you get the the title sequence with the title card and all that shit and the music. It's very Harry Manfredini, whatever the fuck his name is. Let's just call him Harry. Henry.
Manfredini.
Was it Harry or Henry?
You have.
I don't even remember what I said, dude. Listen, man, I'm sleepy. I'm gonna be honest. These last 2 weeks have been Harry. I'm just gonna call him Harry. Fuck it. Harry said that he wanted to make it like Jaws, where the only time that you really hear the music is whenever the shark is around. You know, so like whenever the predator's around, that's when the music comes in, and the fact that it's all POV kind of lends this creepiness to it. I don't know. It makes it feel very voyeuristic, which is, I guess that works for a horror movie, a slasher movie especially.
I mean, it works for the twist at the end.
Yeah, it's a good twist, by the way. And then we get we get to Annie, precious Annie.
She's just walking along.
What a happy soul that does not deserve what's going to happen to her, but she is she's just walking along. She pets a little doggy.
Do you know English?
She's just an all-American girl. And then she walks into this fucking gas station
/ diner.
and she's like, "Hey, I'm trying to get to Camp Crystal Lake." And then everybody stops and looks at her. And I love that. It reminds me of An American Werewolf in London when what's his name?
What's that star on the wall for?
Hey, what's that star on the wall for? And then everybody just stops and looks at him. I love that. I love that so much. I don't know why I love stuff like that in these movies, but I do. So then everybody stops and looks at her, and then like, you know, I think one of the truckers is like, "Oh well, I'll take you," and then she's like, "Okay."
The waitress or whatever says, "Hey, you know you're heading that way anyway. Why don't you just take her?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure. Volunteer me for something."
Yeah, and then they're all like, "Well, we can't just let her go." And
It's
all this
Camp
shit.
Blood.
Yeah, it's Camp Blood, you know, all that shit. And then we get the crazy dude. What is it, Crazy Ralph? Is that his
Yep.
fucking name?
Crazy Ralph.
And he's just like, "I am a soothsayer," or whatever the fuck he says. I don't know.
I'm a messenger of God.
He's like, "I'm gonna fucking Jason's gonna come for you." He doesn't say that yet. I don't think he says that at all.
He doesn't.
But he's a messenger of God, and he's a little crazy little man. And then Annie, doesn't the guy just drive him like halfway there? He drives her like halfway to the camp.
Yeah, he stops at his destination and is like, "Okay, you got to walk now."
Sorry, bitch, you're gonna have to walk now, fucking idiot. And then he just drops her off, and you know that's the rest is history, unfortunately. But so then she just keeps on walking. She just keeps on walking, and then we cut to camp, where we get introduced to all the characters, who I'm gonna have to look at the names for because I don't remember any of them outside of Alice.
I got it.
Because Alice is
We got Alice.
Alice is a good
Our main survivor
good girl. Alice is a good
We got
girl.
Marcy, Jack, played by Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, boy does he get fried.
And then there's Bill, Brenda, Ned.
Who's the fucking jokester?
Ned.
Ned?
Yeah.
That would be a fucking jokester named Ned.
They just called him Nettie the entire time.
Nettie. I thought they were calling him Natty. So I
No.
thought his name was Nate. Like that's I was like, they're calling him Natty. I guess that's Nate. I don't know what the fuck. Nettie. Okay. And then you
And
get
then
introduced to
Steve, the boss of the camp.
we get introduced to all the victims basically, except Alice. She's a good girl. She's the best. She's a sweetheart. She's no Lori. She's no Sydney. She's no Mia. She's all right though. She
did her part.
She does her best. She's I think she's more of a final girl by. Well, I guess Lori in the first one was more of a final girl by circumstance, as opposed to Mia, who was just like, all right, well, I was a deadite, so now I'm just mad. And then Sydney, who's kind of by circumstance, but like, you know, as the sequels go on, she just gets elevated to best final girl, which we'll talk about eventually. I don't know, in like a year. I don't know. Either way, Alice. You know, they're all trying to fix the camp up because Steve, is that his name?
Yeah, Steve.
He wants to reopen the camp.
With his very short shorts and red bandana around his neck.
Listen, man.
Looking weird.
Listen, man. Welcome to the 80s, bitch. Happy Pride. You know? fucking my man's serving cunt and he's loving it. All right, he's doing what he needs to do.
He was hitting on Alice.
He's got that fucking hairy chest and shit. Come on, that was the ideal man in the '80s. That's the perfect picture of a man in the '80s.
Yeah.
Like not even joking. The short shorts, the shirtless, fucking hairy chest. That's all. The glasses. Come on, dude. My man was drowning in fucking pussy in the 80s, all right? He is the ideal man in the fucking 80s. And yeah, he's hitting on Alice, and Alice, like, drew a picture of him or whatever. They had a thing, I think.
I think that
They had, a little bit of a fling, which who can blame her? But they had a little bit of a fling. And, she drew a picture of him for some fucking reason. And he's like, "Is that what I look like?" And she's like, "That's what you looked like last night." And I was like, "Hey, good for you." So they're trying to fix everything up. What was the other dude? The dude that fuck, I don't remember their names. I can't remember the other guy. It's Steve, Ned, Jack is Kevin Bacon, right?
Yeah.
And then who was the other one? His name
Bill.
like Bill?
Yeah.
Thought I was gonna say Matt. Listen, man, these are all just fucking teenager
Every time I
names.
was trying to remember the names, I just kept remembering like everyone's name from the first Halloween. Because that's what I kept thinking about.
those are more in my head.
It's like Bill, Bob, Linda. Wait, the wrong movie.
Yeah, those are more in my head. Annie, Linda, Bob. Fucking what was the kid's name? I don't remember. I'm blanking right now. Tommy. God damn it. And then
Fuck Tommy.
And then the little kid, the little girl. What was her name? Fucking.
Oh my god! How did I forget her name?
See, look, we're just proving that we're not as smart as
Linda.
we thought we were. Linda. Really? Her name was fucking Linda?
I think. No. That was the girl. That was one of the girls who got killed. What the fuck was her name?
Was Linda one of the girls that got killed?
Yes.
Which one was Linda?
Wasn't that the one who kept saying totally?
No, that's fuck. Is that Linda?
Yeah, it was Bob and Linda.
Ah, okay, yeah. Look, listen, man. I'm listen. I love Halloween, but I'm indisposed right now. I don't know. It's just one of them Sundays. But anyway, yeah. So it's Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
Whatever. Let's
back
get
on track.
Back on track. As I slowly descend into madness here, let's get back on track.
So then it shows Jack, and Marcy, and Ned.
Marcy's
on their way to the camp.
Marcy's the one that. Oh yeah, they're all together. And Ned was that's right. Ned's the fucking goofball that wants to fuck Marcy, but
Like, when am I ever gonna get a girl?
but cool old Jack has Marcy because he's Kevin Bacon. We can't compete with Kevin Bacon. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Anyways,
the invisible rapist.
Listen, we're not talking about that movie, all right? But yeah, you're right. We're not talking about that movie. Okay? So, yeah, they're going to camp. They're having a good old time on the way to camp.
They're gonna be counselors too.
Yeah. Ned's like, I'm a funny boy. He. This is the reason we have that trope across the franchise of the jokester that we see in every slasher post this.
Yep.
I'm just a guy that likes to play pranks. Hee hee. And then he always dies every single time because he deserves it for being a prankster. Anyway, so they are all going to camp. They meet up with Steve when they get there.
Yep.
I don't know. What is it? Isn't there a line where Marcy's like, "Is all you think about sex, Ned?" And Ned's like, "I don't think about sex all the time. Sometimes I think about just kissing girls."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, you're funny. I hope you die, dude." And then he died. So, that's... And that happened. I wouldn't want a friend like Ned. I'm going to be honest. But I feel like I just get tired of him, like, immediately.
Like you couldn't bring your girlfriend around him.
Yeah,
because
I'd feel like, stop talking.
You have to resist punching him every day.
Stop talking. Please, for the love of God. Anyway, they get to camp. They're I don't remember when it happens, but eventually they're swimming around in the lake.
They were fixing up the little dock.
There's a really funny shot of Ned doing like a somersault, and then just kind of like you can tell that Sean cut it right before like he started just kind of standing there like, what the fuck do I do now? And it's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, they're all in the lake, and the other girl, not Marcy. What's the other one? Not Marcy, not Alice. What's her
I cannot
fucking?
keep these names in my head.
I can't.
Brenda.
Brenda is like, oh, I see something over there, because you're getting that POV shot of the killer creeping. And Brenda's like, I think I see something. And then, you don't see anything because it's the woods.
And then Ned decides to play his little drowning joke.
Yeah, and then he tries to kiss Marcy, right?
I think it was.
And then Marcy's like, Ned, you fucking pervert. You fucking bitch. And then they beat him to death.
See, if he did that now, in this time, he'd be in jail.
Yeah, because that's just fucking creepy. It's weird. But anyway, what's the scene where they're at the archery range before that, where he almost fucking domes Brenda with an arrow? Is that before or after that?
It's after that.
It's after that. He almost fucking kills this bitch. And I'm just like, who are you, dude? Are you okay? He just shot an arrow right next to her head. And then he does like a fucking like Humphrey Bogart impression, and I'm just like, I'm gonna kill this man myself. I am gonna murder him myself. It's like, what's the name of fucking Sally's brother in fucking Texas Chainsaw?
The wheelchair guy?
Yes, the fucking most annoying ass piece of shit fucking character I've ever seen in a horror movie.
I want to say Paul.
I don't think it's Paul.
I don't think
it's Paul. Anyway, that's what these fucking joke characters remind me of, is that motherfucker. I hate him so much. I was so happy when he got fucking killed by Leatherface. I was like, thank you, God. I was like, thank you so much for putting me out of my fucking misery with this guy. Oh, but Sally, we don't know. That man was something else. He was crazy. What if he comes back? Shut up! Stop it! I don't want to hear it! Shut up! Oh my God. And then he got carved up by Leatherface, and I was like, thank God. Thank you so much. I can't wait to talk about that movie so I can do that all over again. It feels good to fucking just... Oh, I hate him. Anyway.
Before I came here, I was watching the kill count for 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I'm never going to forget Jay from Red Letter Media's review of Texas Chainsaw 2022, where he said that the sister character is the most unlikable character in the franchise, and he's like, and this is a franchise that has this character, and he showed the dude in the wheelchair from the first movie, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna hate these movies so much. Anyway, yeah, that's what Ned reminds me. I don't like characters like that. They're annoying. And I'm happy when they die. Maybe that's why they're here, because they're happy when they die. Apparently, he was a jokester on set, and everybody loved him though. So I don't know. Maybe he's all right, but not Ned. Fuck Ned. I hate Ned. He does a Humphrey Bogart impression. I wanted to reach into the TV and strangle him to death. Anyway,
and then what happened? I think after that, they all panic over one snake,
and then they kill it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Alice is like, oh! She freaks out about the snake.
Not sleeping in here with a snake.
That's weird. Bitch, where are you? You're in the woods. You're gonna sleep with snakes whether you realize it or not. Like, what the fuck? That's like, ooh, that's so, you're gonna go camping and you're gonna be like, oh, but I don't want to see any snakes. Then why are you here? Why are you here? That's just what I'd ask you. Why are you here? Eventually, Steve leaves. Steve leaves eventually. A cop comes by because is this after Annie gets got that the cop shows up? I don't remember.
After Steve leaves, he's like, because it shows his Jeep.
Yes.
So he's just like, if Annie shows up, just get her started, blah, blah, blah. So you see his Jeep. And then I guess at some point it cuts back to Annie and she's walking and you see a Jeep come pick her up. Yeah. So you assume it's Steve.
But you just get POV shots.
Yeah, so you know poor innocent Annie's about to get got. She tried. I mean, she jumped out when she realized something was wrong.
And then she got into the woods, and then she got her throat slit. And then she died.
By Annie.
Bye, Annie. You were too good for this world. Another Annie that's too good for this world that is taken too soon. Anyway, yeah, and then it's back to camp, and they, shenanigans happen. I don't know, a cop shows up, and he's like, oh, what are you doing?
Somebody said Crazy Ralph was pedaling his bike this way, blah, blah, blah.
And then Crazy Ralph's like,
we don't know. Yeah, he's hiding in the pantry for some reason.
Because he's crazy. I don't know. Like, what do you mean for some reason? He doesn't need a reason. He's Crazy Ralph. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. And boy, does he do whatever the fuck he wants. And
scares the shit out of Alice.
Yeah, poor Alice. And then I'm trying to. I don't remember the sequence of events. I just remember who dies. That's all I remember, and how they die.
I think this is when they start dying, getting picked off because Ned wanders off being all, blah, blah, why can't I get a girl?
Oh, yeah, because Ned watches Kevin Bacon and Marcy make. I'm just going to call him Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon and Marcy make out. And then he's just like, man, fuck. And he's like all upset about it. And then he's like kicking rocks with his shoes, and he's just like mumbling to himself. And then he sees somebody in I guess their bunk bed area, and he's just like, what the fuck? So
Can I help you?
So then he goes in, and then you don't see him again until
He's
later. And then Jack and Marcy are like talking, and Marcy starts talking about her favorite Slayer album, Raining Blood, and how she had a dream about it because it was raining blood or whatever. And then Jack was like, Jesus Christ, like what the fuck? Like I mean, listen, if I was with a girl and she just out of nowhere was just like, yeah, I had this dream where everybody fucking died and it was raining blood, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and go home. That's what I'm gonna do.
So you gave me your number, right?
Yeah. I'm just gonna. I'll see you later. I'll give her a kiss on the cheek and head out. But yeah, so then she does that, and then Jack's like, "Oh, it's about to rain out here," and then they go into.
He's like predicting the wind and all, like being
Listen,
all.
Maybe he's a meteorologist, Justin. We don't know. All right, maybe he was in school for meteorology.
The temperature dropped this exact amount of degrees.
Meteorology. I don't know how to talk today. I'm gonna have a stroke. Yeah. So they go into the fucking bunk area, and they just start fucking.
They just get right to it.
As you do. It's Kevin Bacon. So then they finish, I guess.
I guess you could say he was a pig in a blanket.
And then all right, buddy. And then Marcy's like, I gotta go fucking piss or whatever. So then she goes to the bathroom, which like any good campsite is just away from where you're camping.
Yeah.
It's very annoying. So then she goes over there. She makes a comment about graffiti on a fucking bathroom stall. But not before Kevin Bacon gets skewered by an arrow. Because while they're fucking, the camera pans up and you see Ned's corpse with his throat slit.
Just chilling on the top bunk.
Yeah, just hanging out. And then I guess the killer was just hiding under the bed the whole time. And just decided to grab Kevin Bacon by the forehead and put an arrow through his throat.
I want to assume that the killer was like just putting the body in there for storage and then heard them coming, so it was like, fuck it.
All right, I'm just going to hide under the bed.
Sit here.
And since she just listened to them fuck, and she was like, all right, well, that's something.
Well, this is going to trigger me.
Yeah, honestly. well, this is... this is not going to... Well, this isn't going to bode well. This isn't going to make me happy. So then, yeah, he gets killed. And then it cuts back to Marcy in the bathroom, and then like she hears a noise. So then you get this really tense sequence of her looking through the fucking showers to see what's there. And then what gets me about this fucking scene is this bitch Marcy puts up no goddamn fight. She turns around, she sees the axe, and she just goes, ah! And then she dies. She's got a fucking axe in her face. And I'm just like, you're not even gonna like put your arms up? You're not gonna try to like fight it? Like, what the fuck?
She had already figured out how to make the sink work. Her work was done.
So you're just gonna fucking take the L? Quite literally? Like, what are you gonna do? Oh my god. I was like, holy shit, what that like it's a cool effect, the axe in the face, but like, damn, this bitch really didn't try. Maybe she got like the worst dick of her life with Kevin Bacon, and she was like, you know what, I'm good. Like, maybe that's what happened.
I mean, she didn't sound like she enjoyed it
Like,
much.
maybe that's what happened. She was just like, you know what, I don't want to be here for the rest of my life. She just resigned herself to it.
Then what's next is Bill, Alice, and Brenda playing Strip Monopoly.
Yeah, Strip Monopoly, which sounds like the worst time you could have ever. I like Monopoly, but like the last thing I'd want to do is be like, oh cool, I landed on this space, now everybody gets to see my fucking dick. Awesome. like that's how I want to play Monopoly. Fuck that. No wonder fucking Brenda was like, "Oh, you got any of that grass that Marcy brought?" Yeah, because I'd have to be fucking high to play that game.
They were drunk too.
Jesus. So then, yeah, it's about to get good. They're about to strip or whatever, and then
The wind blows the door open.
yeah, as you do. That's God. That's God's intervention right there. Because Alice is a sweet girl that shouldn't be stripping, I guess. I don't know. So then, so then I think Brenda goes to look. She goes to the bathroom. No, she's going home
Yeah,
because
she's
she's
going
like, well, that's enough for me. Like, really? Like, the wind blows the door open and now you're done? Like, now you're just like, well, I should go to bed. Like, that's so weird. Like, it's raining like hell outside. Why would you just sleep on the fucking floor or something? What? Who are these people? Okay, anyway. So, anyway.
People in the 80s didn't care.
Obviously
You
not.
left your door open, unlocked. Everyone was outside at night. No one gave a shit.
Anyway, so yeah, she goes to the fucking bathroom, and then she walks out to the target range again, and then she gets got.
Lights flash, and she's like, "Oh no!"
Oh no, I'm gonna fucking die, and then she does. And then was it Bill?
Bill.
Bill, that's his name. The power goes out or whatever. Right? Does power go out?
Yeah, it goes out at some point, and he's like, the generator must have ran
Oh,
out
the
of fuel."
generator. I gotta go figure it out. So then he goes and figures it out, and then like they find that like the phone lines have been cut and shit. Meanwhile, Steve is like at a diner flirting with this fucking woman. The waitress.
woman's flirting with him. He's like, "How much do I owe you?" And she's like, "Oh, a night on the town." And he's like, no.
See, but maybe she just wanted to like have a good time at the theater,
Maybe.
Maybe she just wanted to feel like a woman again, Maybe that's all she needed. Either way, he declines.
He paid $2 for a burger and a drink.
Listen, man, the 80s. But that's like a fucking $15 in today's time.
Yeah.
So yeah, then she's like, all right, bye-bye. And then he like rides back with a cop.
No, first his Jeep breaks down.
That's what it is.
Just out of nowhere.
That's what it is, yeah. And
He's
then
like-
and then the cop rides him back, and
Just kind of shows up.
then he gets got. And then it's just Bill and Alice. They get
and
separated
Alice.
at one point. Alice finds Bill nailed to a door with arrows. And she screams a very appropriate scream, and then the Jeep drives up. The Jeep that we've been seeing drives up, and an old Betsy Palmer walks out of it as Pamela Voorhees, and she's like, "Hello, who the fuck are you?" No, and then Alice is like, "Oh no, they're all dead. They're all dead."
I know, because Brenda's body gets thrown through the window. That's what makes Alice run out of the cabin.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, and that's right. And then.
But if she was in the Jeep, who threw the body?
Listen, buddy. I'm gonna get to this. Don't worry. All right. I'm gonna get to this. All right. So then she gets out. She's like, "Oh, poor Alice. Whatever. I'll fucking help you." So then she looks around and she's like, "Oh my God, these poor people."
Poor soul. Who
And then
could
she
do
starts.
this?
And then she starts on a fucking little monologue about how I had a son, and
His name was Jason.
and he fucking died because the counselors were too busy fucking each other. And then she's like, "I hate this place." She's like, "It can't open." And then that's when it turns. And does she find Steve's body before Pamela shows up?
I don't think Steve's body was ever shown.
No, it is. He's hanging. He's hanging
Oh,
like
yeah.
Bob.
Yeah. No, she runs into it as she's running away.
That's what it is, yeah. So here's the thing. First of all, Betsy Palmer hadn't been in a movie in forever. And then when she found out it was a horror movie, she was like, "No, I don't want to do it." And then she was like, because she read the script and she's like, "Wow, this is shitty." And then she was like, "I don't want to do it." And then she was like, "You know what? Money, whatever." So then she did it. And the reason she did it is because she thought nobody would ever see it because she thought it was a piece of shit. So, good for her. She got that paper. I'm happy for her. But yeah, the funny thing to me is that Pamela Voorhees. So, like, here's the thing. Michael Myers is just a big kid. If there's anything Rob Zombie got right, that made me retroactively look back at the rest of the franchise and realize, oh, Mike's just a big kid. Like that's what made me, because he never matured. He never was able to mature. He was in an asylum for
He shut his brain off at the
15
age
years.
of 8.
So it's like him making a haunted house out of him making a haunted house for Lori like makes sense because he's just a goofball. He's just like playing a joke on you. Like
He's just decorating for Halloween.
he's just a fucking exactly. He loves Halloween. So Pamela doing it, it's obvious that it's just like, oh well, it happened in Halloween, so But like Pamela doing it doesn't really track for me because you're gonna tell me that this old ass woman decided to just string everybody up like with ease. So that way Alice could find them and freak out. This woman lifted a fucking dead body and threw it through a goddamn window. What is this, huh? Anyway.
I remember like watching a video theory that said like she had people working for her and doing this stuff.
No. Sometimes it's just bad writing and that's okay. Because that's what this is. But the point is not how it happens. The point is that it happens. So, she's stringing bodies up. She's nailing people with arrows. But anyway, she starts fighting Alice. And this is where Alice gets her chase scene and she becomes a final girl, an all-timer. Because she gets away and Pamela's like, you don't understand. And Pamela's like doing this like, kill her, mommy. Kill her for me. And then Pamela's like, I will, Jason. And I'm just like, oh, that's creepy. I don't like that. That's my mom. That's what my mom would do. My mom would kill everybody. So I'm just like, all right, love my mom. She's great. But so that's why when I bought that picture of Jason Voorhees that I have up there, it was from a local art shop, and they wanted to take a picture of me with the picture. And I'm like, Mom, you got to be in the picture with me. Jason's a mama's boy. Like, I have to, like, you don't understand. You have to be in the picture with me. So then she was, and it was a nice picture. I wish I could find it. I don't know what I did with it. But yeah, so Pamela, they're fighting, they're tussling, they're rustling. Alice knocks this bitch out like 3 different times, but she keeps coming back. Because that's one of the rules, the killer always comes back for one final scare, So she's so they're fighting. Pamela's got a machete, I think, and it gets lost in a tussle. And then Alice goes up and grabs it, and Pamela's like, "Oh!" And then she gets her head cut off.
Yep.
And then that's how she dies. And then Alice is like, "Well, I just committed murder." So then she gets in her canoe and fucks off into the lake.
It's like, I'm just going to float here.
And then the cops show up and they're just like, well, by golly, this is a situation. And they're watching Alice in the fucking lake. And then in one of the best twists ever, Jason pops out of the fucking lake and fucks with Alice and like capsizes the boat. And then it cuts to her waking up in like a hospital.
Yeah.
And she's like, what about the boy? What about the boy that was in the lake?
Jason.
And then he's like, there wasn't a boy. And then she's like, then he's still out there. And that's a good ending. I like that ending. I think that's a great ending for a movie that never got a sequel, ever. The movie that never got any sequels, that's a great way to end it, to where you're questioning, well, did she just imagine it? Or is Jason real? Like, what the fuck?
Then they were like, nah, he survived.
Yeah. Yeah, he did, didn't he? So, yeah, that's Friday the 13th. It's a good time at the movies. So now we're going to talk about the reception, because I can't wait to do this for every single one of these, because this is going to be very fun. So, Friday the 13th came out in 1980. It made $5 million in its opening weekend before finishing domestically with $39 million, which is on a budget of like fucking a budget of $550,000. This movie made a ridiculous amount of fucking profit. So yeah, it didn't do as well as other horror movies, but it was still very profitable for Paramount. Not New Line, Paramount. I said New Line earlier, but it was Paramount. And then it was released internationally, making another $20 million off of that. So The cost of making and promoting Friday the 13th, which includes the $550,000 budget and the $1 million in advertisement, is approximately $4.5 million. With regard to the U.S. box office gross, the film would have made $177.72 million in adjusted 2017 dollars. That's 2017. Inflation's even worse now, so that's even more. Like, that's even more now. Oh, my God. Apparently, in 2007, Friday the 13th was screened for the first time on Blairstown's Main Street, which is where the movie was filmed, in Blairstown, I guess. And then apparently the crowds were overflowing, and, all this shit happened, and, it was a cool time. So, critical response. Here we go. Original theatrical reviews. Linda Gross of the Los Angeles Times referred to the film as a silly, boring, youth-geared horror movie, though she praised Manfredini's nervous musical score. As you should. That's a very good score. The cinematography, as well as the performances. What? The performances? Hold on a second. No. No. The acting is not good in this movie. That's part of the charm. That's part of the camp. It is not good. It is not even a little bit good, except for, like, maybe Pamela and Alice. That's it. Everybody else is just kind of, I don't know, there. I don't know. For movies like this, I don't really think the acting's ever stellar. It's
I felt it all fit.
It fits, but, like, that's what I'm saying. It's part of the charm. But, like,
What's up? Brenda was good.
Listen, man,
Jack was douchey, but he did all right.
You just like Brenda, all right? Anyway.
I thought she was going to be the final girl when I first started watching it because I didn't remember.
No, it's Alice. You can tell because she's sweet and she doesn't fuck anybody. That's how you
Neither
know.
did Brenda.
Well, you know what? But Brenda was the one who wanted to play strip Monopoly, so that's why. Anyway, she deemed the performance as natural and appealing, particularly from Taylor, Bacon, Nelson, and Bartram, which I don't know who those people are except for Bacon. I think Taylor is Alice. I'm not sure. Variety, however, deemed the film low budget in the worst sense, with no apparent talent or intelligence to offset its technical inadequacies. Friday the 13th has nothing to exploit but its title. The Miami News' Bill Von Maher praised Cunningham's low-key direction, but noted after building terrific suspense and turning over the audience's stomachs, he doesn't quite know where to go from there. The movie begins to sag in the middle, and the expectations he has built up begin to sour a bit. Lou Cerdrone of the Baltimore Evening Sun referred to the film as a shamelessly bad film, but then Cunningham knows this. This is sad. Which, to be fair, Cunningham did know what he was doing. Many critics compared the film unfavorably against John Carpenter's Halloween. Among them, Marilyn of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, who added, Friday the 13th is minimal on plot, suspense, and characterization. It's not very original or very scary, but it is very low budget. Dick Shippey of the Akron Beacon Journal similarly suggested that Carpenter's Halloween played like Hitchcock when compared to Cunningham's dreadful tale of butchery. The Burlington Free Press's Mike Hughes wrote that the film copies everything, that is, except the quality of Halloween, concluding the lowest point of the movie comes near the end, when it exploits the genuine grief and madness of the villain. By then, things simply aren't fun anymore. But see, that's what makes it cool, is that Pamela comes out and she's like a broken person that's just like, I'm going to fucking kill everybody because my boy died. and Betsy Palmer talked about how, like, she mapped out this whole backstory for Pamela where, like, she was this woman that probably had the baby out of wedlock, and she was just like, and like all she had was Jason the whole time, and Jason was mentally handicapped and physically handicapped. So that was like her whole world. And then this boy dies, where do you go from there? She's like, you go fucking crazy. And that's what happened. And that's why Betsy Palmer's great for the role. I love her. Love her, love her, love her, love her, love her. Dick Shippey. Oh my God. Okay.
You're almost 30 years old and living at Dick Shippey.
Ron Cowan of the Statesman Journal noted the film as a routine endangered teenagers exploitation movie, adding that Cunningham betrays a rather plotting approach to suspense for most of the film, sometimes allowing his camera to act as the killer, sometimes as the victim. And the victims, of course, deliberately put themselves in peril. Yeah, that's how they are. That's how these movies are. He's saying they're stupid because they're teenagers. Have you met a teenager?
I mean, they were just doing their thing. Pamela was just there.
Yeah. A significant number of reviews criticized the film for its depiction of violence. The Hollywood Reporter derided the film, writing, "Gruesome violence in which throats are slashed and heads are split open in realistic detail is the sum content of Friday the 13th, a sick and sickening low-budget feature that is being released by Paramount. It's blatant exploitation of the lowest order." Cool. Michael Blowen of the Boston Globe similarly referred to the film as nauseating. With a name like Blowen, you know, that means something. Warning audiences, unless your idea of a good time is to watch a woman have her head split by an axe or a man stuck to a door with arrows, you should stay away from Friday the 13th. It's bad luck. Well, you know what, pal? Maybe I do. Maybe that is my idea of a good time, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it's a magic trick, all right? The film's most vocal detractor was Gene Siskel, who in his review called Cunningham one of the most despicable creatures ever to infest the movie business. He also published the address for Charles Bloodhorn, the chairman of the board of Gulf and Western, which owned Paramount, as well as Betsy Palmer's home city, and encouraged fellow detractors to write to them and express their contempt for the film. This motherfucker doxed people because he was so mad about a fucking movie. This motherfucker doxed people. Can you believe the fucking balls to fucking dox people over a goddamn teenager fucking slasher? Get the fuck out of here. This is why nobody misses you, bro. This is why nobody likes you. Oh my god. Anyway, attempting to convince people not to see it, he even gave away the ending. Which, I mean, that's what we're doing, but you know, fuck it. Siskel and Roger Ebert spent an entire episode of their TV show berating the film and other slasher films at the time because they felt it would make audiences root for the killer. Yeah, that's the point, dude. That's the point. It's just you go, you get your urges out, and you have a good time. It's like jacking off or eating fast food. You're not doing it because it's fun. You're doing it because it's like, whatever. Might as well. You know? You don't do it for fun. You don't do it. You know, it's an urge. Anyway, okay. They put crack in fucking McDonald's, bro. They have to. I get cravings for fucking McDonald's like once a month, and it pisses me off because it makes me feel like shit every time. And I'm just like, why do I do this to myself? Why? It's because it's withdrawals. I don't know.
Now I want McDonald's.
Listen, buddy. After this, we're gonna go to McDonald's and we're gonna have a good time as we talk about Friday the 13th. Leonard Maltin initially awarded the film 1 star or bomb, but later changed his... Yeah, right? Listen, dude, it was the 80s, you know? Everybody had their own idea. But bomb makes it sound cool. Like...
This film was the bomb.
But later changed his mind and awarded the film 1.5 stars simply because it's slightly better than Part 2 and called it a gory cardboard thriller that younger viewers made it a box office juggernaut is one more clue as to why SAT scores keep declining. No, you know why SAT scores keep declining? Because of the fucking Reagan administration and because of a bunch of other bullshit in the 80s, like I don't know, tying school budgets to property taxes. Oh, that's a great idea. Fucking get out of here. Get out of here. I'm gonna kill this man. Anyway, still, any movie that spawns this many sequels must have done something right. No, it just made money. That's all it.
I guess it did do that right.
I'm getting mad. I'm getting upset. Anyway, so it's funny because Siskel and Ebert are hacks. They always were. But one of my favorite responses to them was they hated David Lynch's movies because David Lynch's movies often involve women in peril and, you know, in abusive situations and shit, like Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, all of those. But Lost Highway came out in 1997, and Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs down. So David Lynch, the man, the legend, David Lynch fucking took out a whole page ad in a newspaper saying, Siskel and Ebert give Lost Highway 2 thumbs down. 2 more reasons to see it in theaters this Friday. And I was like, that is amazing. I love you, David Lynch. May you grow old and never perish because you are the best man on this fucking planet. I love David Lynch so much. Anyway, so contemporary reviews are a little more favorable. Not by much, though. Rotten Tomatoes has it an approval rating of 63% based on 56 reviews with an average rating of 5.8 out of 10. The site's critics' consensus reads, rather quaint by today's standards, Friday the 13th still has its share of bloody surprises and a 70s holdover aesthetic to slightly compel. So, let me amend something I said earlier. Steve's whole look, that was the man of the 70s, all right? I need to stress that. I was wrong. That was the man of the 70s. The short, I mean, but it carried over into the 80s. Either way, he was crushing it. So, Metacritic's even worse. It's got a 22 out of 100. And it was nominated for Worst Picture at the first Golden Raspberry Awards, which is the Razzies. And Palmer was nominated for Worst Supporting Actress, which is an insult to Betsy Palmer, all right? You can eat my whole ass. Billy Steele of IFC ranked the film the second best in the entry in the series after Friday the 13th Part 2. Critic Kim Newman in a 2000 review awarded the film 2 out of 5 stars, referring to it as a pallid Halloween ripoff with a mediocre shot count and a botched ending. As the bodies pile up amongst this testy crowd of horny teens, that's a song title, there remains a vacant hole where someone scary should be. In a strange way, where am I? In a strange way, this film stands unique amongst all slasher films as one where the killer is nearly intangible. Jeremiah Kipp of Slant Magazine reviewed the film in 2009, noting a kind of minimalism at work, eschewing anything special in terms of mood, pacing, character, plot, and tension. Further commenting on the revelation of the killer's identity, Kipp observed, the murderer turns out to be a middle-aged woman named Mrs. Voorhees, with a butch haircut and a gigantic bulky sweater, whose line readings are akin to nails on a chalkboard. And a predilection, but that's not her fault. That's because the fucking script was terrible. Like, they were making love while the boy drowned. His name was Jason. Is that like a good line to you? It's not Betsy Palmer's fault. And a predilection for speaking to herself in the mincing voice of her dead child. It's only in this last 20 minutes appearance of this steam-sealing harpy, not to mention the memorable cameo by her rotting zombie son, that Friday the 13th becomes memorable as high camp. And that's what I'm talking about. It's a fucking campy movie, and I love it. Why did it make such a splash? Theories abound, but here's mine. Friday the 13th succeeded because it was brazen enough to steal so many tricks from the many brilliant horror films that came before it. Critic Scott Meslow on the film's legacy. In 2012, Bill Gibran of Pop Matters, this is a long fucking section, by the way. Bill Gibran of Pop Matters wrote of the film, this movie feels at least twice as long as its 90-minute running time, and not always in a good way. There are far too many pointless pauses between the bloodletting. I mean, yeah, I guess.
I'll give it that, I guess.
On the positive side, Tom Savini's makeup work is flawless. Man's got taste. And Betsy Palmer's turn as Big Bad Pamela V. Man's got taste. Has to go down in history as one of the meanest mothers in the entire horror genre. For those who think it's a classic, think again. Of a type, absolutely. A faultless movie macabre? No way. All right, eat my ass, buddy. Scott Meslow of The Week reviewed the film in 2015, assessing its original critical reception in a contemporary context. Before it became an absurdly prolific franchise, Friday the 13th was a cynical, one-off attempt to make a fast buck on a sleazy slasher movie that accidentally ended up spawning a decade-spanning, multi-million-dollar phenomenon. What's most striking about Friday the 13th is how little regard anyone but its fans seem to have for it. I mean, yeah. If you like it, you like it. You know, that's, so then you have all this analysis on, like, different shit, and then the whole legacy. I'm not going to read all that. Basically, the idea that the killer was a woman was, like, kind of cool at the time, because I think that's a good twist. I think that's, like, the best thing about the movie, honestly. Yeah. And then, you know, teen sexuality, because, you know, in the 50s and 60s, everybody wanted to pretend that, you know, kids weren't fucking each other because of hormones, but, like, come on. Come on, I went to high school. Yeah. I know what it's like. Like, come on. You're fooling yourself, man. So, you know, that was the whole idea is like, and that's why they were like, the kids shouldn't be seeing this. It's just going to make them want to do it. No, telling them not to do it is going to make them want to do it. You idiots. Anyway. So, yeah, it's a good time. It's a fun movie. Fun little time. Spawned 11 sequels. 10 sequels and a remake.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about every single fucking one of them. But not before we...
Oh, yeah. It's time for our next one-off.
For our Spin the Wheel.
Spin-off for the one-off.
Let's see.
Oh, please be something good.
I hope it isn't just because you said that now.
Well, I mean, it could be so bad that it's good. Much like some of the movies I suggested.
Yeah, I know. 97.
Hey, but Animal was great.
It was fun, yeah. It was fun. Okay, done. All right, let's spin the wheel. What number are we going to get? What number are we going to get?
25.
It's spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning.
Boom, 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 boom.
We got
boom.
number 18. What's number 18?
Damn, I was close.
Beyond the Black Rainbow, which is by the guy that did Mandy, which I think is more of...
Which I've never seen.
Which I think is more dread than it is, like, horror. Because that's how Mandy is. Mandy's very, like, it's more about atmosphere. So this will be new for us. I'm interested to see this one because I've been meaning to check this one out anyway. God, we were 2 away from Malignant. We were 2 away from Malignant. Oh, my fucking God. We were 2 away from Malignant. Ah! All right, that's fine. I mean, I'm you know, it's all right. I just really want to watch Malignant again. Okay, so that's our next one off is going to be Beyond the Black Rainbow. So that'll be fun.
I guess ironic we get rainbow in the title.
A happy Pride, baby. Let's go. Let's go. It's all coming together. It's all coming together, baby.
We're here.
That's
We're
what
half
happens.
queer.
That's what happens when you got a bisexual fucking podcast host, brother. Let's go. Let's go. All right. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm glad we started this. I'm glad we waited a week to do this.
The fates.
I'm really glad we waited a week to do this.
This is your reward for a rough 2 weeks.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, this fucking show lighting up perfectly. So Beyond the Black Rainbow. Ooh,
Not the reading rainbow.
Can't wait. Well, well, yeah, I guess not, huh? Anyway, so yeah, that was Friday the 13th. That's the start of a franchise. What are your final thoughts on it, Justin?
I like it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you got. Just I like it.
I like it. I don't mind how cheesy and stupid it is because I've watched way worse movies than that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've seen every Leprechaun movie,
All right, buddy. Listen.
all the Critters movies.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. As far as franchises go, after Halloween, I think I put this one second for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I really like fucking Nightmare on Elm Street. I really wish Nightmare on Elm Street would get a big box treatment like fucking Friday the 13th did from Shout Factory, but I guess that's just not gonna happen. So
I just have to rewatch Nightmare again because
we will.
I just have vague remembrance of some of them. I just remember 1 and 2 the most.
We're gonna be here till like fucking October, brother, doing this shit. So anyway. So I'm glad you could join us for this first step into one of the most prolific horror franchises of all time.
That got shitted on with censorship.
Yeah, which we'll talk about that too. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to talk about all that shit. But anyway, yeah, here we are. Thanks for listening. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us wherever you fucking find podcasts. Follow us on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. One of these days we'll put video to this. I just got to pay off a credit card first, and then we'll do that.
We're going to make it one day.
Until then, thanks for supporting us, and, thanks for listening.
Yep.
And I hope you have a good week. And next time, we'll be talking about Beyond the Black Rainbow. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ooh, bye-bye. Yeah.